We like to build up all the anticipation.
Wait for it.
Let's say hypothetically that I don't know anything about fly fishing.
Yeah, right?
It was like this instant 8-way man crush.
I'm on the fence.
Yeah. The time we've been doing this podcast, I've never seen Uncle Buck perk up his butt. It's dolphin procreation. Like you just flipped up out of your chair.
Yeah, he just blew out his blowhole.
What are you talking about?
And that's pretty much my dream coming true is to actually meet you guys.
Yeah. Well, I'm the humblest guy I know.
Work and do trade shows in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. You meet some pretty wild guys.
You blew it! I'm the worst PR person ever. Fire me.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Current with the Rutten River Pursuits podcast. I'm Kyle, and to my left I have...
This is Dave.
I'm Will.
It's Uncle Buck.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
Catfish.
Welcome back, everyone.
Oh, welcome, buddy.
Welcome back indeed.
How are you?
Kyle.
Not as good as you guys, that's for sure.
What do you? Some of us are just half as good as the others.
I mean, I think overall, everybody sitting at this table right now had quite the epic week.
I think it was good.
It was a busy week.
Is it okay? Yeah. Okay.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Hey, we were just doing our jobs.
I know. Me and Stevie were quite smitten.
TK, in all honesty, it was a freaking blast. How about it, guys?
I knew it. I knew it was in there.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I can't hold it back.
I'm not
anymore.
gonna hold it back.
Yeah. Out with it, boys. Come on.
48 hours straight of epicness. It's hard to do.
Even the car rides are fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, you guys had like a mobile podcast editing studio going on the way up, right?
Yeah.
First off, yeah.
It was a working drive.
Let's back up. Let's back up for a second. Let's bring everybody up to speed.
So Ryan, where'd we go?
Last week, 5 of the boys drove up to Sodus Point, New York, because we had scheduled a charter outing on Lake Ontario for Lake.
It's a pretty great lake.
It's
Some say it's great.
one of the greatest I've heard. But it's
Only a couple in the world.
It was a charter trip
5.
that we planned for lake trout, king salmon,
Steelheads,
and apparently,
Coho.
yep, spoiler. I didn't know that was even a thing, but apparently it is.
They're big shiny football.
Jesus, things. Those things
Lombardi trophy.
It's of
a fish.
Lombardi trophy. It's like a torpedo. I mean, it's literally it's shiny from tip to tail.
Stern.
So you guys went up to Sodus Point, Lake
Yes.
Ontario.
Well, the epicness really, it starts in Harrisburg,
I was
Pennsylvania.
just gonna say, how did you guys end up there?
Well-
up in Sodus Point.
Well, we all decided to meet up at Phil's house as soon as we could get off work on Friday.
Oh, before Phil's. Come on.
There was too much to do before Phil's.
Oh my gosh.
How'd you conjure up this plan to go up to little town of Sodus Point, Lake Ontario?
Well, that name should sound familiar to most of the fans out there because I think we've had a couple of stories that came out of Sodus Point up to and including last year's live podcast on the boat while the reels were zizzing.
Captain Jimmy's been on the show a handful of times.
Yep.
At the Jaffa show, and then he had us up last year.
Yeah. And with all intentions of doing another live show, jumping ahead, spoiler alert, we couldn't do a live podcast from the boat this year. Weather just didn't permit to have the equipment out.
Well, it didn't look like you guys even had time to do a podcast with the amount of fish I saw in that
Too
cooler.
much zizzing.
There's a ton of
The whole
zizzing,
podcast will have just been click.
but Ryan.
I would have had fun, though, doing a play-by-play on that boat that day.
If the weather was right, yeah.
I honestly don't know that we could have done it, that 45-minute stretch that we had. That was crazy.
No.
But
how
Ryan
we
was
would've-
right on with the forecast. He said, guys, it's going to be dry when we get on the boat, and then it's going to rain. And it's going to be dry when we get off this boat.
Yep. I did call that. But we can't just jump ahead to Sodus Point because it was very difficult for me to keep a little bit of a secret going that I had throughout the day on Friday. Catfish and I were in constant contact trying to figure out the plan because
these secrets are killing me.
well,
It wasn't a secret from you guys. It was trying to make Deek happy. It
Yeah.
was the first time that I've gone out of my way to really try to do something brotherly
get-
for Deek.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for that guy.
Yeah, for that guy that
this guy.
just a few weeks ago said, "Why do we have him here?" And now,
Now I'm trying to make him happy.
I like him. It's like crack. I'm starting to get like a Deek addiction.
Yeah, you get shaky after a bit.
One pitch between your cheeky and gum, and you're all about Deeky.
well, I mean, we talked throughout the day, Catfish, and we were trying to. We knew some of us were going to have some time available on Sunday.
All I heard was 2 kayaks.
Right. So we were looking at kayaks. Now, unfortunately, or as it turns out, fortunately, like I had packed all my stuff the night before, and I was planning to leave and meet y'all after work. I work in Harrisburg. I only got to go a little bit north to meet you.
Right.
So I had everything loaded up, and then the conversations really started to roll Friday morning. Like, hey, what's the plan? And we were trying to figure out how to make kayaks work, and DK was being kind enough to just be like, guys, don't go out of your way.
I did. I was
If I have to
I was
fish from the
fine
bank,
to.
I will.
Well, I was fine just to go home in the other truck, or I could stay. If we could figure something out, I'd be happy to stay.
It's up to you.
And we tried hard. I called Captain Jimmy for a rental boat up there. Maybe Margaret might have had an extra kayak at the Wickham, something like that.
Yeah.
Sure.
He was checking into all that for me too. But
Well, needless to say, we came up with a plan B, and as everyone met together at Uncle Buck's house, starting to load up the trucks, get everything ready. Catfish pulls up.
coming in hot.
Yeah. So he's like calling us every step of the way. Like
I was running late. Yeah.
traffic.
He
This,
really-
that.
Let me talk to Ryan. Ryan,
The chicken Arby's took a little bit too long.
I'm gonna actually.
don't let those boys stay behind.
I'm gonna open up a little bit more to you guys right now because he was trying to get me to get you guys to leave. Right, the plan was to surprise you in New York when we got there.
That's
But,
why
you
I kept saying, "Just go."
You guys wouldn't leave me at Uncle Buck's Palace and just sitting alongside the road hoping Catfish shows up.
For the same reason why you didn't let Deeky stand on the bank and fish on Sunday.
At the Fox Den.
I mean, it's the same reason.
So up pulls Catfish, and you didn't have 2 kayaks or anything. You didn't even have 3 kayaks, did you?
No.
I did not. No.
What'd you bring along?
He had 6 wheels.
I brought the new boat.
8, actually.
Boat in tow with. We had to pit crew 2 quick trailer tires on, but
Yep.
yeah.
So,
It's
yeah.
the fastest tires were ever changed on a trailer. I'll tell you that much.
All I want to say is, like, we did stall a little bit. We had a nice snack, and we were kind of. I knew you weren't far away.
I was going 100 miles an hour. The stop at
I could feel you like the Highlander.
yeah. The stop at Tractor Supply to find the right tires for the trailer.
Yeah.
Really didn't take me long to check out with the guy with 300 pounds of bird seed or whatever he had that wanted to write a check. I didn't know checkbooks existed. I'm not saying I was rolling my eyes at Tractor Supply, but I was almost just like, I'm in a hurry. I'll pay you when I get back. Like, I was going to throw my driver's license at him and be like, I'll be back.
Uncle Catfish, follow me on Facebook.
We got 2 new trailer tires when we ran up to Phil's, and
But you whipped around the corner in the middle
I saw
of
your
the street,
face.
and I'm
The
like,
look on your face was worth keeping it a secret.
yeah, it was. So number one, it was like, what, and then yes, and then like he whips out, he jumps out, like rolls out like a commando,
Oh yeah.
sniper situation.
Get over here.
And jumps up, throws 2 tires out of the back of his truck, like out of nowhere, like a magician. And then, says, peel this box off this jack. And
I didn't have my jack. I had to buy a jack too.
so I'm
Let
like,
me tell you how difficult it is to carry a 50-pound box that has a new jack in it. 'Cause
All-
to buy a jack, you got to buy a decent jack. So a 3-ton jack and 2 tires on one shoulder. out of Tractor Supply like a boss out across the parking lot.
Cursing at the guy with the bird seat.
All this is done though. Like when he does this, when he gets out, it's all done in the middle of the street at Phil's house. Now, granted, there's not a ton of traffic, but nonetheless, middle of the street.
My neighbor, who is an auto mechanic, was quite impressed with the tire change.
Less than 10 minutes.
Yes,
two
he
tires
was
off,
very
two tires
impressed.
on. Let's roll.
Well, the challenge was 10 minutes aside,
Yeah.
and we did it in 10 minutes, pretty much flat.
I was mainly dumbfounded though, because I was like, this isn't 2 kayaks. I was fine
the
with
whole
not-
time. I was like,
Yeah.
what happened to the kayaks?
Dude, did you blow the kayaks off the back? Where'd they go?
Catfish has a transformer.
You lost your kayaks, Catfish.
I
Well,
was.
the best part is he called me and
This-
he was like, oh, he gave me the whole rundown of the options. And I distinctively said, do not make extra effort to go get me a kayak. We'll figure it out
Done.
up there. And
Done. Exactly.
yeah. So I guess that means please bring your boat.
Just everybody put that in the back of your mind for the next
I
trip.
love it. I love it. You know,
Catfish, don't bring any kayaks this week.
the best part about it is this boat has almost been a better friend to Catfish than I've been. He takes it everywhere.
I have just been driving around with it. And, like, I took it to Rudders the other week and didn't even put gas in it.
Hey, boat, do you want a Dairy Queen Blizzard?
I was trying to figure out how to take it through the car wash.
Just you and me, boat. Together forever.
We'll talk about it later, but it did turn out to be the right choice.
Oh my
Oh, yeah,
gosh, yes.
definitely.
Yes.
So
Where we went on, not jumping ahead, but where we went, where we would have taken the kayaks, would have been an extreme challenge.
really,
Yeah.
Little miserable.
Yeah, I was going to say miserable was the word I would have used.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd have been rough.
miserable.
So you guys set up the trip. You all descended upon Bucky's house as a rendezvous point,
Yep.
and you set way for Sodus Point.
Headed north.
At about what?
Then
7?
what happened?
Well, we headed up to
Up
Sodus
ain't
Point.
the, oh, yeah. Don't get me started. No,
Uphill. Still going uphill.
I have never driven for 5.5 hours. When people say they're going up to Canada or upper state New York, it's true. We drove uphill for 5.5 hours. There was no downhill for 5.5 hours, and which was weird because when we drove home, I looked at Ryan about 2 hours into the trip and going, how in the hell are we still going uphill?
And we came uphill to get up here. It's one of them optical illusion pictures.
I walked to school 5 miles with no shoes on uphill both ways. Yeah, I get it now.
They
We drove.
They must have went to school in Sodus Point.
There's no downhill anywhere.
Nope.
And the new truck pulls that boat. It don't even know it's back there. So,
That's
I mean,
perfect.
I'm blessed with that point of it. But I was really shocked to leave the Chesapeake Bay watershed to head north, trying to hit like the Great Lakes watershed in that area. What's Wilkes-Barre?
Yeah, just north of that.
Before, like after Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, you never once hit almost a downhill until you get on the other side of a different watershed.
You're looking down always.
Yeah.
Like the mountains up there.
It's
You're
gorgeous.
just up on top. Like the highways are on top of the mountains, it
Yeah.
seems like.
Yeah, and I kept saying the whole time, and Deek makes fun of me constantly. So, but I'll say it again. It looked like moose habitat.
There should be a moose around here anyway.
I kept saying the same thing. There's got to be millions of turkeys up there.
But you guys threw me off because at one point we were talking to each other on the phone, and I said something about, I can't believe we haven't seen a deer yet. And Will yelled something about a moose. I'm like, did you guys see a moose? Like,
It looked like we should have.
Are there moose in these parts?
It was moosey.
If people don't know
Lucy. That was
northern Pennsylvania, it is very mountainous and extremely rugged wilderness. Like there's a lot of woods up there. The big
Yeah.
woods of
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. It's just countless miles and miles and miles of nothing of woods.
Yeah.
They say there's elk in there, but
I
that's
can
probably
believe it.
further west.
That's where Bigfoot lives. I guarantee it.
Bigfoot's definitely up there, along with the mountain lions.
yeah.
Oh, that could be a topic at conversation.
the Nittany lions.
Yeah. Anyhow, so we did roll up. The boat trailer made it. The truck pulled the boat great. We weren't real far behind you guys. I think we did fairly good on time for dragging the boat.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it was great.
there's a feeling when you pull into the Sodus Point area
I
because you're surrounded by water.
adore this place.
Yes,
I fell in love.
Like
Absolutely.
Those were my words.
it's
exactly.
straight forever. It's like 3 turns and a couple miles on each turn that are straight, and then you pull down into this little town that time forgot.
Yeah. 2 foxes greet you.
Yes,
And they did.
yeah.
They just run around.
There's some guy that
Which for
stands
me,
at
as
the
a trash
beginning of
panda,
town.
makes me nervous.
I bet.
You should.
It should.
And we were so excited. Everybody was tired. Everybody worked that day. A long drive up there. But we were so excited when we got there to see the
knew-
Wickham house. We got some stuff inside.
We knew what we had to do.
And what happened?
You could see the excitement in everybody's eyes. We were there to fish. And we didn't have but maybe 5-6 hours till we had to be on the boat. Because it was closer to midnight, I would imagine. And
Yeah.
And what did we do?
we took a walk about
Not me. I knew what to expect. Catfish.
Well, you've been there, what, 5 times?
And I've been there with you one time, so I knew what was going to happen.
I wanted to share
You've
my
already been there.
experience. The last time me and Will went, I went fishing at night, same as this, by myself down there just to go, and it was flooded.
Yeah.
So I took the guys to share that experience with them because the weather was gorgeous that night. Like we had a great night walking.
It wasn't raining by Catfish's meaning of gorgeous.
It was gorgeous.
It wasn't raining.
It was windy, but
Yeah.
it was nice.
Oh,
nice,
it was-
cool night.
It's about a 20 block walk roughly to where we went, something like that, but
It was
nice.
good to stretch the legs.
It was to see the town, to smell the air.
But
of
our
Lake
license
Ontario.
are a 24-hour license. It's from midnight to midnight.
We could
So-
fish.
At 12:05,
Yes.
We were legal.
We had a line in the water.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come and get yourself.
And I don't remember, like it was so flooded last time. I took them down and then we went down, made a left, we walked a little further. We went down by the by like the Coast Guard station, which is they're not there that time of night. It's
back up
yeah.
about 3 blocks before that Coast Guard station. We crossed
The
perpendicular to this crosswalk, and Catfish goes,
I'm following you.
this is where the water line was at.
Is that how I said it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm
You
looking,
didn't stutter as much, but it sounded
Yeah,
like
you didn't stutter. You probably said it.
this is where the water line
Well,
is.
we were walking by like trees and picnic tables and things like that along the water
Grills
that
like
were
the
20 feet from the water bank. And I was on the other side of the road throwing whopper ploppers at those picnic tables last year.
houses.
Because they were underwater.
That's the structure I was fishing last year.
Yeah. As we were walking on it or around it. Yeah.
So
I was fishing mailboxes last year.
Would you have wet waited?
Absolutely. If it wasn't.
How'd you know?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you're right. But here,
that blew my mind because there was houses. There was another community.
There was.
In that area.
and
Rick killed a
the
guy.
crazy thing was we went down by the Coast Guard station, and I don't remember walking out across the sand through this like rock wall, out across down a sand ditch and up onto this other rock wall. I remember fishing like from the parking lot, so it wasn't really that difficult last year.
Sure.
But we went another 50, 60 feet, maybe 50 yards to where the water was, and it was on that bulkhead where the lighthouse is.
Yeah.
And we're standing up there in the dark. We're all tired. And the water of Lake Ontario is crashing on that bulkhead.
You could
Crashing.
hear it.
It sounded
Up
like the
underneath
ocean.
you too.
You could hear it from the Wickham house.
Yeah, 20 blocks away. Yeah. And as you're standing up there, you can't see the water. You don't know how far down there it is, but you can just feel the power of it smashing this massive rock wall. And I had to look at the guys after like 2 or 3 casts and go, I don't like this. If somebody falls in there, it'll take like the Coast Guard to get you out.
Yeah.
So let's go fish somewhere else.
Yeah. When you're
But it
limp.
was nice to see it. It was good to get down there.
So where'd you guys end up that
Well,
night?
we walked back.
So-
We hit a boat ramp or two. The Coast Guard's boat ramp through Whopper Ploppers.
Was that the first time you guys were like, this is a really great lake?
Oh, you could see it. You could see the excitement in their eyes.
It's one of the greatest.
Have you guys seen, how many people have seen Lake Ontario or a Great Lake?
I have.
Yeah, Ontario, Lake
Just this
Erie.
past
seen
week.
Lake Erie?
Yeah.
That's the first time I was like out in the middle of like the next day on the trip. That was the first time I was out in the middle of one.
Can't see the
that
other
was it.
side.
That night we were at the Coast Guard station. Phil kept saying, "Is this the lake? It's gorgeous because it looks huge." I'm like, "Buddy, this is the inlet to the lake."
That was the best.
And I grew
Sodus Bay.
and then being in Chicago, I'm used to Lake Michigan, and it was, but the difference was it wasn't a city that I was looking at the lake or the suburbs. It was this small, quaint town that normally
Time
just sits on a lake.
Maritime.
It was
lake.
like it had the Murder, She Wrote feel, like that house, that New England house feel, but not so New England.
I saw Jessica Lansbury.
Yeah, she was riding a bike by, right? Yeah.
I saw lobster pots, the old school wooden ones, made into mailboxes. Like that's the
Right.
cool part of even the Wickham House. We've talked about this on the other podcast, but the Wickham House itself,
That place is amazing.
when you walk in there, you feel like an old salty dog sea captain. Like I'm here.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's
I stabbed a whale.
it felt like I've been there before.
if anybody's ever listening to this and you're not like into charter fishing or whatever, you're just looking for like a vacation for a weekend,
Get up to Sodus Point.
just stay at the Wickham House. It's super cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool feeling.
I mean, but
Look for my shoes while you're there.
yes, trash panda shoes. The town is surrounded on water on three sides. They are like it's kind of like you have this overwhelming feeling of you are what you are. You can be yourself.
I usually have
example-
anxiety of like letting Lacey go to York shopping by herself on a Saturday at 10. With
Yeah.
like Landon and Lacey up there, I would have no problem letting them walk around at 2 in the morning.
Do whatever. Yeah.
Whatever they want to do.
The-
if you want to go for a 2 o'clock in the morning walk at Sodus Point, I wouldn't have any issue
Like
with
the quaintness of that town just is defined that the gas station was not 24 hours.
it.
It closed down.
No.
You know, like
And not only that, but the next day after we got off the charter, I don't want to jump ahead, but that same gas station, which is like the center of town,
yeah.
there's a little sign on the door. Sorry, machines broke, cash only. And it's like,
So
that's
apologetic.
quaint.
And when Ryan and I
So
stopped
Canadian.
there, Ryan and I actually stopped there, and I saw one person give another person $1 because they were short. Like it was just, oh, here I got you. Like didn't know each other. Like that kind of quaint little, oh, I got you. Don't worry about it. You know,
Right.
because nobody was expecting the machine to be down, right?
Well, Larry and Margaret made me feel that they were the epitome.
They were the
that
owners
fe-
of the Wickham House.
Yes.
I
And
love it. I called her up and told her the R2 boys were coming to town, and as I called her, she had remembered or put my number in her phone. So I called her and she's like, "Hey, Will."
When she answered
When
that.
she I didn't even
When's the last time you called a Super 8 and were like, oh, hey, Phil?
Yeah,
a
exactly.
year later.
there was that one
Hey,
time.
Will.
She's so
how
sweet.
are you?
So let's jump ahead. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, but we got into bed late. I always have an issue sleeping at this point.
Not
but
you.
No, I actually I fell asleep. It was late, but I think I fell asleep. Don't even we're not jumping ahead to that. That's not even getting in this podcast. However,
Jimmy fell asleep at 4, had to be up by 5.
Yeah, Captain Jimmy Del Rio doesn't like you to be late.
No,
He
no.
doesn't
this
like
dude,
tardiness.
he's a machine.
He
Yeah,
wants
he
to
is.
fish.
Yeah.
He wants to
He's all business.
We
when it
already
comes to
knew
fishing.
that the weather was going to be rainy, 100% chance of rain.
I've been
and wind.
saying snotty.
Yes, it was snotty out.
It was snotty.
It wasn't horrible when we got on the boat.
No, it was dry. Like,
What time did you guys have to be on the boat?
5:45, he pulled the boat out. And when I say pulled the boat out, I mean like he
We-
threaded the needle. So if you take,
never
So that
seen
means you had to
anything
be
like
there
that.
by like 5:15 at the latest.
yes, if you ever flew a space shuttle at 22,000 miles an hour through a hula hoop that's being thrown by a dinosaur
And it's on fire.
and it's on fire, that's exactly where Jimmy Del Rio parks his boat. And he does it with such poise and confidence and calmness about him that you can tell that he was like, he's trained to, like, as a kickboxer to control all that.
I think, his boat, you should probably call that the Millennium Falcon.
yeah.
Like,
Totally agree.
One funny thing for me that morning. So we all kind of like the night before kind of said what time we would have the bathroom at. Like we all kind of like, okay, Will's not taking a shower. He's getting up at 5 minutes before we're walking on the door. we kind of all staggered from there. So Catfish had the earliest one because he figured he wasn't going to sleep.
I got to have that hot shower on my back
Yeah.
because I knew the boat would rock, right?
Right.
So I'm like, 3 a.m. I'll be in the shower.
Yeah. So like my eyes opened up at some point in the morning, and there's just Catfish getting ready at the other side of the room. Looks at me, he's like 10 of. I'm like, oh, so that was my complete okay, my turn for the shower, bathroom time. Like,
What is it?
like
10
no
of 4?
alarms had even gone off yet. It was 10 of 5. So
Okay.
yeah, it was exactly.
I
of
was
like,
showered, dressed.
Yeah, it was like exactly my time zone too for the shower and bathroom. But it was just funny because
Get in there.
Let's go.
This is like what, our second time we've ever really done a big outing like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, which is our first one for some of us, but like the second time that we've ever done a big outing. And I have to say it, it's the best traveling with you guys. You don't think about it. You don't
So much fun.
you don't have to
had
worry.
great snacks.
Yeah, man. We were well taken care of.
Mom Kyle over here totally.
No, but like
Mom
not even what
Kyle.
I brought, there was a lot of good snacks. Like we were set. No, if we went hungry, it was our own fault.
Yeah, man.
I still have some of those coconut caramel Girl Scout cookies in the back of my
The
truck.
fake Girl Scout cookies. They're delicious.
So, no,
I
but
agree with Will, though. The whole entire time in Florida, in Sodus Point, there's zero questionability, bickering, nothing. It's pure fun.
just go have fun.
Yeah, and that's
it.
the way it should be.
You just
and
expect
Buckman said it himself. Uncle Buck said, this feels like a rolling fishing camp. Like,
Yeah.
Because the room we stayed in, all 5 of us,
We were like
We're
a
in one
camp.
room.
It was camp, guys. I'm sorry. We're bunked up.
what were you guys watching real quick that night? That
Star
put you on?
Wars. It wasn't
You guys
Star
were
Wars,
watching
Star
something and you
Wars.
were all out.
No,
Star
I thought
Wars.
Star Wars was on the next day.
Star Wars was the first.
I thought
one,
it was.
thought.
I thought it was dodgeball.
Dodgeball was on. Wolf of Wall Street was on.
Yeah,
Bad teacher.
and then Star Wars. The
Yeah.
rest of the
I
Sorry.
did see Margot Robbie at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The good part.
So you guys,
I had no clue. Real quick, I had no clue there was a bathroom in our room.
I kept that a secret.
I was right beside Ryan's bed.
Between going to bed at 1 o'clock, I heard you guys come in. I got back up and went down the hallway to that bathroom. I should leave this out of the podcast, but I don't know what we ate on the way up. But the bathroom apparently was for another room's guests, and I didn't have
That's the
anything.
one where we stayed last towards
Yes.
the back last year.
That's why I
Yeah.
was familiar with that bathroom. I had no clue there was one on the other side of the dresser.
Right.
There was nothing to write on to leave them a note saying,
Sorry.
"Just don't."
My bad.
Like wait till 6 a.m.
Let her breathe.
It was a very rushed Friday, and at like 2 a.m. I was like, "Oh no, no."
For our listeners, this house is like a bed and breakfast
It is,
type.
yeah.
There's like it's legitimately a house. You have rooms. We were kind of like there were 6 beds in our room, but it was kind of like the master bedroom of a house that had a bathroom to
Could
it.
you tell what level of the refrigerator was Rutten Rivers? Because it was full of what's that stuff that you drink?
Oh, that was the Founders All Day IPA.
Yeah, I mean it was a whole shelf of it. And like, yo, Rutten Rivers here to have fun,
And Red Bull.
and Red Bulls and Monsters,
And Monsters.
And Diet Pepsi. I had a couple of those.
So you guys cuddled up all night Friday night, made it to the captain's boat bright and early. He threads the needle. Then what?
The trip out was amazing. Ryan caught a great shot of the lighthouse between 2 rods.
That was a
Yeah.
perfect shot.
Yeah.
How long of a trip is it out from the harbor to
To the time
I
you
guess to
start
the
fishing?
to
So
the
like
first
lines in.
yeah
30 minutes.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
I
I
don't
really
even think it was that long.
I thought it was
when
gonna
he
be a
set
further
the first
ride.
rods. When he set out the first lines, it
it's
wasn't
pretty-
that
It was
far.
pretty quick.
About 20 minutes from the time he fired the boat up.
Yep.
So that's a fairly short trip from like a charter standpoint. I mean, it's pretty much
And
boom,
we-
you're there.
And by the time we get out like 4 or 5 miles, he's turning around and coming back in. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's
We
because we
hit-
had to.
We hit almost 300 feet of water at one point. So
it's basically a long walk off a short pier.
Yeah, there you go.
We started shallow, or shallower, shallow meaning 50 to 100 feet. And then for a little bit, we caught 1, 2, and then he's
Buckle my
like,
shoe.
I got to go deeper.
He's got to take it to the next level.
Yeah, he says, I'm going to take it to the next level.
Not even I'm going to take it.
He wasn't kidding.
I'm going to the next level is what he said.
And when we got to the next level,
It was next level.
It was literally the next level.
all hen broke loose.
It
all
was
hang broke
It was
broke
all
loose.
hangs
All
on
these
deck.
fish must have been grouped up like crappies in that Great Lake.
Yeah.
His rods were going off left and right.
Yeah.
Now
Kyle, it got to one at one point. We only had one line still in the water working.
Oh, geez.
And I think the
guys have
spoon
one
was
job.
foul hooked backwards on the treble. That's why nothing was eating it.
Now, I saw like some of the pictures of the setups you guys had. It looks like he had depth counters on there. And what depths were roughly you guys catching them at? And like what was on those poles? You know, what were you guys bait fishing, or were you pulling spoons?
Big
lures?
spoons.
Big spoons.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Big like 4-inch, 6-inch.
Yeah, like
almost look like pike spoons. Yep.
Yeah. Like he just had a Kuma 8.5 foot rods.
Kuma cold
Cold
water
water
series.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
20,
those
and,
were
20
sweet.
Ds.
Yeah, Kuma line counter reels with that. Some of them had an awesome anodized orange
Oh,
that just
So
you
matched
got those
up.
just
sexy.
for us, I think.
Yeah.
They're so
Thank you,
sexy.
Captain Jimmy.
If you pick his rods up, they're lighter weight than some of my bass rods.
Wow.
So when you fight these big fish, it's
It feels
especially if you have your hand behind the reel instead of in front of it.
Yeah.
It can really feel like a big fish.
Yeah, and it's a lot easier if you get it up ahead because you're a new guy.
plus you don't do that if you want the captain to yell at you.
Yeah, and he did.
Did you hear about this?
No.
Yeah,
So if you picture holding a deep sea rod with a big open face reel,
Yeah.
you're reeling. Where's your left hand at if you're right-handed?
On the bottom, like
Not
right,
back here at your belly button.
no, like underneath the reel seat.
Yeah, so Phil's hand was back by his belly button,
Oh,
and the
geez.
rod kept going. And now, granted, it was, dare I say, it was probably the biggest fish
It was
of the trip.
Yeah.
no, that was the first one I caught.
Okay,
The
but
second
still,
one was the big one.
No, it
And
was
what-
your second one because I
It was the
short
second
drifted you
one.
right before.
Yeah,
that.
actually,
it
it
was.
was because
It
in the
was.
video
It was-
footage I went through. It was your second fish.
It was my second fish.
Yeah, when I grabbed that
Jimmy.
that audio clip of what you said was on your second fish. Because I looked
you
for it
had
on the first
one.
fish.
You were
fish.
still bringing that one in, and that's when I asked you that question.
Yep.
Captain Jimmy football coached him on where to put his hands. And
Okay.
after that, then he got more leverage to
It
bring
was
his fish.
and when he says football coach, it was very direct and very abrupt.
You knew he
There-
was talking to you.
there's
T.
no-
Your other left.
Yeah, there was no.
No, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. I knew my left from my right. Deek.
Oh, I
Deeky-
had trouble with that all day.
So
The other left.
there was no mixing words with Captain Jimmy.
No, he was great.
And there's a lot of commands going on because
he wants you to catch the fish.
You're using leaders and you're using long leaders, so you can't necessarily just get the fish netted right with you standing close to the edge of the to the stern of the boat. So like he'll be like back up, left shoulder back up. That means you have to like get the line over his left shoulder because of where it was. And
If you pay attention to him, he's exactly right.
Exactly.
If you get nervous because he's telling you to do something and you go the wrong direction or do it wrong, he'll tell you again.
Yep.
Yeah.
And again until you do it right. When he was telling Phil, I was videotaping with the GoPro. When he was telling Phil, back up, back up, back up, back up. Phil was taking steps back. If you walk into the cabin of his boat, there's a step up.
You're gonna fall on your ass.
Phil fell right into me. And now Phil's fell down with the rod in his hand. And he's laying on his back. And Captain Jimmy's still going, back up, back up. He didn't see Phil laying on his back.
I'm like,
I grabbed a
Catfish,
hold.
pick me up and drag me back there.
I did. I grabbed a hold of him.
Now was he like running
Yeah.
like planer boards or like outriggers or anything
Both.
like that? Okay.
I wanted to say this really,
Not
really quickly.
outriggers, downriggers.
Okay.
Jimmy is like Captain Jimmy Cap is like this super mild mannered, absolutely
Super
just
quiet.
quiet.
Yeah.
He might give you a wink every once in a while, but it's
Oh, he was smiling a lot.
yeah.
There were some smirks.
But as soon as that reel
Oh,
cracks,
if there's
His
a line pop,
passion for fishing explodes.
Oh, yeah.
blows up.
There.
He's taking it. He's a coach. He truly is a coach.
There was an
Catfish is
interaction.
right on with that.
is this the one you said something to him and he quick got on you?
yeah. I think so.
Yeah,
Yes.
you tried to treat him like
he
Larry
was all
Dahlberg.
I was trying to save this for the podcast, but I think I may have talked to DK about this one.
No, I heard it on like while reviewing footage.
Oh, I tried to have a little light moment with him. You know, just lighten things up a little bit. But what had happened was I was taking pictures off the back corner of the boat of Catfish with his first fish, which means Phil should be up next, right? And I was behind Phil. We had a nice little order going and everything was in place. But I'm in this back left corner of the boat trying to get a good picture of Catfish reeling in his fish. All of a sudden, the line on the little the downrigger, not the downrigger, but the little planer the diver.
Yeah, the planer board and downrigger.
It's got this little diver thing going. And it pops. And he's going, reel down, reel down, reel down. I went to reel down. Now, these aren't spinning rods. These aren't bait casters.
Right.
These big open face reels, right where the handle is to reel down is the drag. Apparently, I must have bumped the drag and set it just to wide open.
Yeah.
And as I'm trying to reel, like I pull it out of the little seat that it's in, and I pick it up, and I'm reel, and all it's doing is just zizzing. And I
the
looked
fish
at
is
him.
going too.
I looked at him and I said, I think it's off. He grabs it out of my hand with this look of disdain and spins the
star drag.
The drag.
He spins the drag back down and he goes, now reel it. And so I start reeling it then, and then I could really feel it at that point. I'm like, oh, okay, there he is. And he just kind of looked at me and I said, yeah, I like to let him run a little bit. and without missing a beat, he just looks at me and he goes, I don't.
I remember that.
Thank you, Captain. I wouldn't want to look stupid.
And we say all this, he's not a mean guy.
No, at all.
And you don't feel like he's not being a jerk either. He's blunt and to the point. And if you listen to him, everything goes perfect.
You catch fish.
Yeah. Well, there's a difference between somebody who is a fisherman and who is he's a great fisherman.
Yeah.
And he wants you to be a great fisherman.
Well,
and
not
so whatever
only-
he would be doing is what he wants you to do, although sometimes you don't know that. Now, it gets easier.
The more.
Yes, I've fished with him twice now. I know like all of his antics, so it was very simple for me. I kind of knew what was coming on some of it.
But he gives you the full experience. And we talked about that while we were up there. Captain Jimmy, it just wasn't this, okay, I'm going to bait him and you reel him in and I take it. No, it was, we were a part of the team.
Yes.
We were a part of the crew.
Not many captains do that.
We learned, I learned about down rigs, plain boards, fishing for these big fish. These were the biggest fish that I've ever caught.
He was also a little bit more serious because we did have bad weather.
Yes.
And it would be very easy to lose a fish if we were not on the ball.
I was just going to say.
Or a person could have popped out the back.
I mean, if you were like goofing off dancing to like Ice Ice Baby, you could
Yeah.
fall off the boat.
There's a chance.
Yeah, I mean,
Just saying.
some of those swells, they looked like at least like 5 feet.
Some of them were.
Yeah, we had some
We
decent
got
weather.
some rogue,
Yeah.
rogue waves.
Well, and
It
There,
got
there was
snotty.
there was some rutnecks coming from Will once or twice as the boat was dropping like Fahrenheit at Hershey. Like his neck went up, and I went, "You all right, buddy?" He went,
well, and you guys touch on something important too. Like,
You were a little green at one point.
I
You
didn't-
held it together.
No, I didn't get sick.
No, you
man,
were good.
I was.
But you guys
Touch
touch on
and go.
something with like Captain Jimmy, like, and I think it's self-explanatory. Like, if you're going on a charter trip, like, you don't want to be out with some hippie like, "Hey man, everything's cool." Like, you want to be out with somebody that's like, "No, I'm getting you on some fish, or I'm getting you on this." Like, you
And
don't
then
want,
we're getting you back.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
you
But he
don't.
didn't even say it. It was, you saw it in his eye.
there's a difference. I've fished
He
with
was
lots
business.
of captains. If you're paying somebody to put you on fish and put fish in a cooler,
Yeah,
he's there to do a job.
Mm-hmm.
After the job's over, it's all hugs and pats on the backs, and he works so hard, like, and pristinely filleting your fish, taking the time to do everything correctly,
yeah.
and getting you back in safe. He 100% not only did his job, he did. I would rather fish with Captain Jimmy than half the captains
Yeah.
I fished with
Well,
before.
I fished with. So on Wednesday, I was in Chesapeake with Catherine Charter, And I love those guys. They're, the captains there, they're sweethearts, and they're very talented.
Different feeling, though.
But it's a completely different feeling, and I'm used to fishing. This is my 5th time with Jimmy, Captain Jim. And I was literally with the guys in the Catherine, the Chesapeake. I'm like, where do you want this fish, bud? Where do you, like, I was kind of like, I felt amped up trying to get, and they're just like, reel it in and we'll net it. Well, they were on it, but they weren't Captain Jimmy on it.
To what Phil was saying, Captain Jimmy allows you to get the fish out of the net, get the hooks out of the net when it's all tangled up. He allows you to do a lot more than just, okay, reel it in, put it in the cooler. Okay, what's next?
Yeah.
He allows you to be part of the other than letting the lines out, you are a part of all of it. Put the net away, get the net out.
And then he doesn't prompt you after the first time. It's kind of I don't know. With us, maybe it was expected.
Or you're washing down the deck right away.
Yeah.
We had Deek hands all over the place.
We figured it out.
It's 2 parts. Like, one, it's us. We're kind of like above.
We're family now.
You're like 5 first mates at once.
Yeah.
We're all just sucking the marrow out of the bone of that trip.
So.
Taking every last drop of what we can get out of just.
So what were you guys catching? I saw a good variety of fish in your pictures and in the cooler.
Really quickly, when you were seeing these pictures come across the feed, what's in your head?
Well, for starters, I'm kicking myself. I said I definitely should have fought with the wife more about just going up.
Oh, you can't miss this trip.
That's a hill to die on, bud.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, because I was thinking, back when we were discussing it, I was like, we'll just be getting back from Bermuda. I was like, got a lock. I was like, it's not worth the argument. And then, like, as soon as I saw like the first picture pop, I was like, you idiot.
Dang it.
I was like, you stupid.
We caught big lake trout. We caught huge king salmon on this trip, which is different for me than last trip.
Last year we had
just one little guy, but these ones were massive. We caught a good bit of steelhead, which are acrobatic, beautiful. I think, to me, probably the most beautiful fish I've had of what we catch. The coloration on them steelhead are pretty phenomenal. And, I'm not saying that, I'm not patting myself on the back, but somebody did catch a coho salmon.
That was the prettiest fish, I thought.
They're silver from, like I said earlier, tip to tail, and
they're not long.
With the purple, a little bit.
They're just like a football. From their head to their tail, they're like a football. They're rounded on both sides.
A lot of weight to them.
And if you pick that fish up, it's stout fish.
Solid.
It's a solid,
muscular like picking up a sack of lead.
And they only fight, when I was reeling it in, some of the other fish like to dive and pull down. This fish fought on top of the water. Like, at one point he was running, and his tail was halfway out of the water. Almost like you see salmon going up, shallow water up
I
river.
think he was just trying to flip you off.
He was.
You know what?
Strong fish.
The middle flipper.
The 2 lake trout that we caught, I was surprised about how fat they were.
They are fat.
Your hand just went into, like, you're holding it up.
Oh yeah, the pictures from those, just
and
the guts hanging.
That's
off
what I mean. The difference between that
just
and the
belly
coho was
the lake trout compared to the salmon.
Yeah, it was neat. I never saw that before.
So were you guys able to keep all of the different species that you caught, or was some of them in season, some of them not? No.
They were on
I think we
salmon
2 or 3 back.
Salmonoids, right?
Salmonoids.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 or 3 went back in, but the rest, man.
And those are just small
Cool.
steelheads, I think.
Yeah.
That went back.
A lot of those were off the free line. The ones that we
And
caught
out
on
of the
free line.
species that we caught, the steelhead is like the smallest species. So
Yeah.
they look different in the cooler than the rest of them. But, we put a couple in the cooler. Now, these are big, big Yeti coolers. 3 guys will sit on top of the Yeti cooler with some elbow room. And 2 of these fish were bent on both sides. So,
Wow.
The thing with your coho that stood out to me was just how thick it was. Because when they dropped the net on the deck, and I saw that fish just standing up on its side, I'm like, damn, it was 2 footballs tall.
yeah, it was stout.
That's how thick this thing was when it was laying on its side. I was like, wow.
When I put my hands around the belly of it to hold it up, I have pretty big hands, and they were, it It was a big fish.
Ruby SoCo.
Did you like that?
That was good.
Old rancid kickback.
I really want to say, we're kind of on this like predator kick, and these things are like freshwater sharks. I mean, they're just a mouthful of teeth.
If you were to tell me that you were catching trout with big teeth, I would kind of snicker at that.
The teeth on those things were insane.
They're just predators, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, Captain Jimmy he was careful with us unhooking them because you got big treble hooks, you got some teeth going on.
Rocking boat, yep.
Yeah, so and there's a good warning for that.
I would imagine they could give you some pretty good stitches. Their teeth are pretty big.
Yeah. And it's not impressive until you're right there with them in the boat and they're
thrashing around.
Yeah. They're legit.
So how many fish did you guys end up coming back to port with?
5-man limit, bud.
15
fish, 3 apiece.
Wow.
Yeah. Speaking of coming back to port, that's when the water got the roughest. Coming back in I almost was afraid he was going to lose a couple rods out of the holders. It was that rough.
That was one of those points where if I said to myself, if I get seasick, it's okay because it's rough. It's not. Yeah. It was awful. Like that can make anybody get seasick on our ride back.
It was a lot more like ocean type fishing than it was Great Lakes type stuff.
His boat is phenomenal. Like it's a beast, and he has like this autopilot feature, and
it wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work. It just beep, beep, beep.
The waves were pushing him off course, and now to automatically kick the autopilot out, like there's a malfunction. So that's what he kept going back and forth.
It was miserable. Yes,
I was up there trying to steer it, and he come up and told me, "You can't steer it; it's on autopilot." I'm like, I didn't know. I was just trying to get it to stop beeping because it sounds like we're gonna sing.
But he got very serious for a little bit.
Yeah,
and that to me, like I'm just gonna sit down on that big Yeti and let the captain do his thing because it's when he does that, like it means something for sure.
It was hypnotizing though. The motion of the boat in the water was hypnotizing because I felt extremely lethargic and tired at one point. I think even me and Will both took like a 10-minute just close our eyes and enjoyed the trip.
Take the edge off,
Yeah, but there's one thing I have to mention real quick about our trip that probably was out of that whole trip. There was one thing other than like the waves didn't bother me, the weather didn't bother me. I mean, it rained pretty good on us. There was one thing on the boat that I was not a fan of, and never will be.
I know it's coming up.
I really don't like it. And not a big fan. There was a
rain gear.
No, actually,
up in the cabin.
Actually, I was very busy. Yeah, I was very busy. So Ryan was nice enough to stop and get me rain gear, on the way up, which was cool.
It was perfect. Yeah.
And so Captain Jimmy, when he goes up, he lives on his boat. There's a cabin in the front of it. Okay. There's a door to go down to use the restroom if you need to use the restroom. But between the really nice seat and the dashboard to where you go down the steps into the cabin, there is a fishing lure holder with multiple fishing lures on it that are. So let's say there's.
It's a cachet.
Yeah, 7-8 inch Rapalas and probably 20 of them on it, double treble hooked each one.
2 of them.
Yeah,
and 2 racks worth.
If you look at it and you're relatively close, they're like Velcro. They jump at you. I don't know how many times Will, Phil, I don't know who else, I was taking myself 5, 6, 7 different times. I was taking fishing lures out of the rain gear because they brushed up against that fishing lure holder. And it just, like you just had Rapalas the whole way down your arm.
It's never happened before, in all honesty.
It was the rough weather.
It was the rough weather that, you couldn't help but the swing of the boat.
You tip
2 feet each way.
And that half step back that you take to rebalance when
that's all it took.
Rocks, that's all it took.
Catfish got into them so much that he was able to, by the end of the trip, take them out of his back without looking.
Oh, yeah.
He was that good at it.
They were like those hitchhikers or cockleburs or whatever you want to call them in the woods.
Captain Jimmy walked by me once or twice and just You got lures on you. I went, yeah, I know.
That's what he said. You got lures on you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Captain.
I feel them.
Yeah, I think we made like a top 10 most,
Well, next year we joked around about the over and under of how many times we take those off of us and making a little.
I had to get the
pool.
pliers out
It was
once or twice.
cool.
Yeah, off for mine, especially when we got into a hairy situation catching fish, and
Well,
I was handcuffed, and Catfish is trying to.
So, yeah, I mean, we have to move forward just a bit, but like the way back was snotty,
Yeah.
100%.
Parking the boat was horrible, I'm sure, for him, but he did amazing.
Yep.
When he hooked you guys up with cleaning and like kind of prepping the fish for you guys too, right?
Yeah.
Yep,
He flayed
100%.
everything out right there in the back of the boat. They had an entire system going of
It's a nice assembly line.
Yes, it was. From cleaning the fish to putting them in bags to guts in the bags to the bags getting to the
The
gut
dumpster.
bags to the dumpster, good bags in coolers.
I had the horrible job of just walking to our truck to get the cooler. That was a horrible job.
Bless your
You
heart.
did good,
Right.
I did.
Good on you,
I
bud.
did some B-roll footage, but it was nice.
Ugh.
But how about real quick too? I got to mention. So actually, the weather that we had made me extremely tired.
Right
Like
on.
I was that up and down motion.
Understatement.
Yes, with the weather, with being like in the rain all day long, it was hypnotic, but extremely. I when I got back, I called dibs shower.
You did.
I did. I was like, dude, I need that shower after that. My back was pretty sore. I got in the hottest shower at the Wickham house and then went in to wait for everybody to get ready to go to dinner with Captain Jimmy. And I was like, I'm just going to lay down for 20 minutes.
All right.
I did the same thing. I
did-
went right in and died.
Yes.
I was out. Like I don't think a cement truck landing on me at 100 miles an hour would have woke me out.
We made
Actually, we called in a cement truck.
Yeah.
The Apollo 5.
I
the
distinctively
Saturn
remember it was
5
like-
rocket could have lifted off your chest, and you would never have felt it.
Well, apparently.
It was like 4:30,
Apollo
5
Creek could
o'clock,
have
and
lifted
we
weights
had,
on your chest.
Yeah.
we had reservations for 6:30. So like we all kind of knew we could shower and nap for about an hour and a half.
Well, I mean, you guys could shower and nap, but me and Buck,
Powered through.
yeah.
I didn't
we-
sleep either.
Me and Buck were taking it to the front porch.
I was pulling down footage off of everybody's SD cards. So
That's true.
That's the
You were
last
working.
thing I remember.
Those are your words.
Was giving you my SD card. Yep.
yeah.
But the old guys, we took it to the front porch.
We PT'd,
Yeah.
powered through.
Wasn't sure.
I'm not going to say I had a long week before we went to Sodus Point, but I was out. I was out. And so the next thing I remember was like I was expecting to get the nice little, hey, bud, wake up. It's time for dinner. I said, wake me up for dinner.
We
No.
thought about it.
No.
Oh, I even got scolded.
Yeah, not at all.
I tried to. But
Bucky was just talking loud next to you. We told him to knock
He
it
was
off.
loud.
Well, here's the thing, and the bottom line.
Yeah.
Like, we know catfish, and we know what it is to be catfish. We know catfish doesn't get a lot of opportunity.
Two different
to
things.
Just
Two different things.
we
Yeah.
put a rock over you.
right. You were out, bro.
That wasn't just sleep. Like that was my mind was shut down, resting sleep.
Oh,
I
yeah.
also felt unsafe. Like if I put my hand in your bed, I would have got bit.
You may have because I don't remember anything. You know what I do remember?
Get bit.
I remember what time we were supposed to be at dinner.
Yeah.
And I didn't just wake up. I woke up and sat straight up. And it was
happened?
dark out.
What happened then?
There was 4 empty beds. Where is everybody? What is going on? What just happened?
Yeah.
It was 9:15.
Right.
I looked at my phone and
What
I
time
went.
was dinner?
6:30, 7 o'clock.
That's quite
the funny
power
part
nap.
was like you were there when we made the reservation. You're like, we're like,
I felt
Captain,
bad.
Captain Jimmy said 6:30.
Yeah.
You're like, make it for 7.
Yeah, you did. We did push it back half hour.
And I literally I woke up a hair late, and I know I needed a shower, so it pushed it back to 7 for
You know
all
what
intents
got
and
me?
purposes.
It was the hot shower that knocked me out. That because when I come back and lay down, I normally sit there and fight with my mind to go to sleep. I didn't. I was gone.
It's a lot of work to fight, 4-foot swells on a 30-meter Triton.
Where's the fella out?
You know how 45,000 treble hooks stuck in you all day long in a raincoat. But no, so I woke up at like 9:15. I sat straight up. Of course, I'm wide awake. My eyes are a bit hazy, but I'm up. And I'm looking around. There's nobody around. And this is the first time in my life I'm sitting on the side of the bed trying to realize where I'm at for a second, look down. There's a freaking honey bun at my feet on the floor. Like I thought somebody dropped one on the floor, but what did I care? I was eating it.
It's a
like
sign.
It's you guys' fault that you dropped it there.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm
And
sitting
at that point, you probably were hungry.
I was. I figured that I had missed dinner. I'm sitting on the side of the bed eating a honey bun, and I'm looking around, and I look out in the hallway to my left, and what do I see? Another honey bun.
What?
There's
No
another
way.
honey bun in the hallway.
You gotta be kidding.
No,
me,
I'm not kidding you. Not only am I not kidding you, but I got up.
Did you eat that one?
No, not that one. I was still eating the first one.
That'd have been so great.
Yeah.
I threw my jeans
my way
on.
down.
It's great.
I threw my jeans on. I grabbed a shirt, put my shoes on. I still am kind of hazy as I go for the second honey bun. And I saw a third honey bun, and then down the steps, a fourth honey bun. And now I'm really confused about what is going on. And I know that where we were supposed to go eat for dinner was roughly maybe half a mile away, and there's not enough honey buns in Sodus Point to lead me to dinner.
Or was there?
So as I'm like walking out in the hallway and look down the stairs, the staircase, every other step had a honey bun on it, leading me down the steps. I was lost for words. I was a little confused, still waking up as I'm walking down.
It did its job though, right?
Perfect.
I have honey buns in my left arm, stacking them.
Other podcasts will have honey bun envy at this point.
Yeah.
Like, where
They
is all
should.
these honey
By
buns
the time
coming
I
from?
got to the bottom of the steps, I'm pretty sure I had a dozen or so honey buns in my arms. I would follow it down around the refrigerator, and there was one going outside onto the porch. I just dropped them in the basket by the refrigerator and come outside because I knew I couldn't carry anymore, figuring there'd be more going down the steps out through the yard. But there wasn't. And then I saw you guys sitting outside, and I remember coming out going, why the hell didn't you wake me up for dinner? And sure enough, I slept right through the dinner that I invited Captain Jimmy to.
Yeah,
I was
Good
out.
on you,
Dude,
bud.
it was
You
good.
needed it.
Oh yeah.
We were loud. There was there's moments where like you were not stirring, and it was very clear that you needed the sleep and different things. So it was. I hope that you caught up on some good rest.
I did. I appreciate it.
And I'm not saying you didn't miss much because we had a great conversation at Marlin's with Captain Jimmy.
Yeah.
He guys got to catch up on the man that is Jimmy Del Rio.
And I heard some of that last year.
Yeah.
So I just felt bad I didn't go to dinner with him. That's all. But
Right
I
on.
don't know if you would have woke me up had I been awake enough to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, when we got done with dinner, you can ask these guys. I'm like,
Somewhere
Whose idea? Wait a minute.
between
Whose idea was it to put the honey buns up the steps? Because I still haven't known to this moment. Nobody told me whose idea that was.
Uncle Buck put him there.
Nice.
yes. Yeah.
Did you separate them out up the steps perfectly, and you turned all them with the labels the same
Yes.
way
Well,
so
you
that I
have to
could
be
read
able to
them?
read
Well,
them.
so you know which way we're going, bud. You needed to know that. That was important.
We always say after an epic day of hunting or fishing, eat a honey bun, it'll make it better. That's ridiculousness. Wake up and follow a trail of honey buns
Trail.
to
That's
your
how I
best
felt.
friends, and
That's
that's
how
a
I
good
felt,
day.
bud.
I honestly wouldn't even be able to believe that if I like I would feel like I'd be like, all right, come on, snap out. Like,
Woke up from a dream
Listen.
to another dream.
yeah.
When Catfish finally made it to the front porch where we were standing, He didn't believe it.
He was not.
He didn't believe it yet.
He wasn't 100% on.
When are we going to dinner? I'm pretty sure that's what I said.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
And we said, "Oh, bud, we can't eat another bite."
But I told these guys really quickly. I said, on the way out of dinner, I said, make sure you guys are looking at all these docks.
Yeah.
I didn't think that you would be sleeping. I would have bet a paycheck that you'd be
Somewhere between here and the house, Catfish is standing casting a whopper ball.
Had I been awake, I would have been.
Oh yeah, guaranteed.
I don't remember in the distant the close present past whatever of being that out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember having that good of sleep recently. So that boat was extremely therapeutic to me.
It was a lot of energy, for sure. I hate to do this. We're kind of bumping up on time.
What?
I think we're
Gonna have to do it.
We're only
to
till
be continued.
8 p.m. on Saturday.
We're gonna turn this into a 2-parter.
Can we please?
We got Saturday in, but Sunday's still to come.
Yes.
I wasn't, we had a nice,
You and I were on the road.
we
Will,
had 2 different trips
and
on Sunday. So.
There's some epic stories on Sunday.
Yeah, you guys
though.
had some things that you took care of.
This isn't even fair.
Yeah.
I mean, you made Stevie and I wait until tonight to hear just part 1, and that
I can't tell about Sunday till Stevie comes here. I'm going to wait for my brother Stevie so that I can
rub it in,
poke the bear in person about Sunday.
I love it.
Before we go, could I pick a Better the Hunt topic hat topic?
It's your turn
to be continued
For next
week.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to do that now, or should we just talk about Better the Hunt topic hat?
No, I got it right here. Let's shake it up.
All right.
Let's
All right,
pick
get
it
her
for next
going.
week.
It's a shaking.
It's a shaking.
It's a shaking.
If it's a shaking and it's a quaking.
Mr. Ryan, what do we got for next week?
All right, then next week's
Next week.
topic from the Better the Hunt topic hat is going to be outdoor activities other than hunting and fishing.
That doesn't even make sense.
Are there any?
Like it.
We'll
There's
find
a plenty.
out.
Boating,
I got all
skiing.
kinds of stuff. Don't burn them now, Bucky.
Bucky, that's next week.
He wants to get into it.
Come on. We'll get to that.
Join us next week on In the Current from Rutten River Pursuits podcast, where we continue our epic journey to Sodus Point, New York. As Deek
Where
and
can they find
Ryan
us, guys?
have lots of firsts.
You can find us at RuttenRiverPursuit.com. You can also look us up on any of the social media platforms by searching Rutten River Pursuit. Look us up on YouTube at Rutten River Pursuit Podcast. Check out all of the podcast apps. You got iTunes, CastBox, Stitcher,
Google Play.
Google Play. Just search Rutten River Pursuit. We thank you for listening, so give us a review. That helps us out. Guys,
100%.
another epic week.
Beautiful.
See ya.
Thank you. Rig 'em weedless.
Trash Panda Quiver.
Yeah. We're all just sucking the marrow out of the bone of that trip,
So,
taking every last drop of what we can get out of the, just.
so what were you guys catching?
I threw my jeans on, I grabbed my shirt, put my shoes on. I still am kind of hazy as I go for the second honey bun. And I saw a third honey bun, and then down the steps, a fourth honey bun. And now I'm really confused about what is going on. And I know that where we were supposed to go eat for dinner was roughly maybe half a mile away, and there's not enough honey buns in Sodus Point to lead me to dinner.
Was there?
The best part about it is this boat has almost been a better friend to Catfish than I've been. He takes it everywhere.
I have just been driving around with it. Like, I took it to Rudders the other week and didn't even put gas in it.
Hey, boat, do you want a Dairy Queen Blizzard?
I was trying to figure out how to take it through the car wash.
Just you and me, boat.
I love that Trish Panda Quiver with his freaking laugh. That's classic.